Well, with the weather so frightful, many of us dreaming of jetting off somewhere sunny as soon as we can afford it or as soon as the school holidays allow.
But there can be pitfalls to look out for while you're away. With Fred and Sasa, whose valuables were stolen when their aircraft ran out of cabin space for their hand luggage. So let's take a look at their story.
I was trying to ram our hand baggage up in the luggage compartment, and it obviously didn't fit, so this
It was full.
It was full. The stewardess came over to assist, and she said, "Oh no, it won't go in the compartment. I will have to store it elsewhere." And we handed over the luggage. I assumed they would collect it after at the end of the flight.
But when the flight landed in Budapest, Fred and Sasa's hand luggage was not handed back to them by the cabin crew.
And she said, "Oh no, it's already gone to the luggage pickup point."
The family waited with bated breath at the luggage carousel.
And it seemed rather strange because everything came out except one piece of our hand luggage. So we said, "Oh, for heaven's sake, hope it hasn't got lost." And then, sure enough, at the end of the queue, it suddenly popped up, and it looked perfectly normal. We just picked it up, and off we went out of the airport.
But the luggage wasn't normal because the couple's valuables had been stolen between the aircraft's hold and the carousel. So when Rip-Off Britain got in touch, Jet2.com said they were extremely sorry about what had happened, but that hand luggage does sometimes have to be stored in the hold. They advised passengers to remove all valuables before this is done, but do now tag any hand luggage going into the hold, and the couple's insurer Aegeus has also paid out in what they say is an unusual case. But of course we put our valuables into our hand luggage because we expect our hand luggage to be with us on the plane.
That situation is one that passengers are going to find is going to happen more and more. Because I flew back from France yesterday, for instance, on a British Airways flight. We're talking mainly, I suppose, there about Jet2, we're talking about EasyJet, we're talking about the economy airlines. And all of them now are trying to persuade you to take less hold luggage because it takes less time then to load up the plane, take as much hand luggage as you possibly can, to put everything in your hand luggage. The trouble is they're not redesigning the aircraft, they're not redesigning those overhead lockers, which means that people go on with their hand luggage, and before you know it, absolutely everything is chock-a-block and you can't get any more in. And the trouble is that the minute you let go of your hand luggage, the insurers will say anything that is stolen was out of your possession at the time, and there's always a clause in insurance which won't cover you for that. So it's really vitally important these days that if you're going to carry hand luggage, that you have one of those little locks that ensures that you can lock the luggage in case you're asked to hand it over. And that if you are asked to hand it over, you take out any valuables at all, your iPads, your telephones, your jewellery, anything at all that you've got. And please don't worry about holding up everybody else in the rest of the plane, because it is much more important that you spend 3 or 4 minutes emptying your hand luggage and taking out those things that are valuable to you than worrying about the fact that a few people are being held up, and at the other end you have all of the trauma that that family had. But I have to say now that a lot of the airlines, recognising that there is a problem, what they're doing now is tagging the luggage, and the trouble there was that the luggage was not tagged as it is when you go through normally, and therefore it was clearly obvious that that was a piece of hand luggage which may well have had some valuables in it, and it turned out that it did.